In this video, I'm going to be talking about the beginning first concrete strategies of addition across the 10. So what we're going to look at here is we would see a problem like this, and you might have them write it out on their whiteboards, and you could say something along the lines of touch the sign, right? This is the sign, follow the line, this is where we begin. Touch the sign, see its addition, follow the line, this is where we begin. So 23 plus 18, we're going to begin with the 3 and the 8. So I'm going to have this down here, and this is I don't have my place value mat with me right now, so I'm just going to go and act it out with this. So I have right now, I have 2 10s, 1 3s, the number is 23, and I need to add 18 to that. So I need to add 1 10 and 8 1s. And if I had more space, if I had my place value mat, I could do this a little bit more easily. So I could say, okay, here's my 18, here's my 5, and then I need to add, again, I need to have 8 that I can add on. I have my 5, and then I'm going to add on to the ones I already have, be like, oh, and this is what I have. I have 2 5s. So when we get to 10, we're going to bundle it. We can do this hugging arm. When you get to the 10, you're going to bundle it. So I take my 2 5s, which I showed as tally marks, and I would bundle it. Normally, hopefully, I would have another rubber band here to bundle it. And so now I can see that 23 plus 18 has 4 10s and 1 1, and that's 41. So that would be at the very concrete level. When it comes to subtraction, so let's start with, I'm going to start with 30. Okay. Start with 31. All right, so let's go ahead and start with 31 minus, we'll say 15. So 15, and I'm going to minus. So touch the sign, subtraction, follow the line. This is where we begin. All right, so I'm going to act it out here, and I'm going to say, okay, this is what I have here. I have 31, right, and I'm going to take away 15. Do I have, so I'm going to start here, again, follow the line, this is where we begin. Do I have enough in the ones place to take away 5? And the answer is going to be no. So I'm going to have to unbundle one of these. So again, I'm going to unbundle it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it out, again, in a pattern that's recognizable, particularly recognizable as 2 5s, because that makes it easier for them to, it's not just a bundle, it's in some sort of organized fashion. So now do I have enough in the ones place to take away 5? Yes, I do. I have this. So I can take away this 5. This leaves me clearly with 6. And then I need to take away one of these 1s that I had here. And I can take that away. And so I have 1 10 and 6 1s left. And the number is 16. And so that's at the concrete level. Now, what I want to show you guys here is how I would demonstrate that at the representational level, which is more when you're doing the drawing. They call it representational level, is basically like manipulatives, but they're portable, right? So for example, I would say, okay, I have 1 here, right? And I have 3 10 bundles here, right? And they need to be a little bit more substantial than what you would normally draw as a tally mark. We want to make them a little bit more stand out. So I have 3 10s and 1 1. And I want to say, do I have enough 1s in the ones place to take away 5? And I would say no. So what I could do here is I could do one of 2 things. One method shows that I just take one of these, I draw an arrow, kind of cross it out, I draw an arrow, and then I'm going to illustrate it as 2 5s represented by 2 X's, because they are 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5. Or if you're more comfortable, you could represent it as 2 tally marks, like this, right? And so then you could say, okay, now I have 11 over in the ones place. And this is when we talk about reading it a funny number, because now you're going to have 20, 11. That's not a real number. That's something funny. This is an improper number now. We've created an improper number. So with that being said, we need to simplify it. We need to actually do the subtraction. So whether you do it in dot patterns, 2 dot patterns of 5, like this, whether you do it as 2 X's like that for more advanced students who you've learned, you've taught to do that, whether you do it as two sets of tally marks. The point is that you're going to get rid of that 10 rod and you're going to move it over here into the ones place and put it with the ones you already had. Now you can decide, so I'm just going to say I'm going to do it with the two tally marks like this. I'm going to do it like that. I'm going to say, okay, well, I can take away one of those 5s, right? 'Cause here I took it away, and what's left? And what's left is 6. And then I'll see, okay, I had 2 10s here now. I have 2 10 rods. All right, I got to take away one of those, right? So this actually should have been changed to a 2, right? So now I don't have 3 10 rods anymore. Now I have 2 10 rods. Change this to a 2. I need to take away one of those, and I have 1. So 31 subtract 15 equals 16. So that's it at a representational level. That's also what I was going to do here, show it at the representational level, which again, you can show it, you can do it, base 10s are a little bit easier because you can show that these are the hundreds flats, these are the 10 rods, and these are the 1 cubes, right? You just do them as a dot or a little square if you want to. But when you're starting to still continuing to think about craft sticks as your main thing, the ones would be a little stick, the 10 rod would be something thicker, and the hundreds would be, again, maybe a bigger rectangle to represent these, or maybe you can even do it as sort of as an oval. But again, to represent the bundles as they are, right? And so with those, you know, if you had, example, I'll write the problem down here. I'll say I have 34, right? And I want to add 17. Okay, so I'm going to do addition, touch the sign, follow the line. This is where we begin. So I'm going to draw the 4 and the 7. So here I'm going to draw the 7, right? And I might do it as tally marks. Here's 5, 6, 7. I need to add 4 more onto that. So I've got to keep that in my mind. And you can rub your forehead temple and say, remember, we have 7. We're going to add 4 more. 7, add 4 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so then we just saw, oh, look. And guess what we have to do? We have to lasso this and bring it over here. And we made another 10 rod. So that's the idea of this lassoing. Bring it over here. That leaves us over here with 1. 1, 1, 1, and I can write it down here. That's this one, and then we have another 10 rod that we brought over here. So we have our 1, that one. We have another one we're getting rid of, and we have 3 more we have to put in. 1, 2, and then here's our big 3. All right, and that gives us the 5. So that gives us down to 51. So again, practicing these illustrations using the representations, and then of course we do the same thing when it comes to unbundling during subtraction. So I hope this gives you an idea of the craft sticks at the both the concrete and representational level.